Hi everyone, so I've seen a card on Pinterest by Trenuth Crafty Creations and I really wanted to do it because it looked amazing and it was called I think it was called a double diamond card, but I've heard of these other cards called double diamond cards as well. I know a few other people have made it since and so I was like, you know what, I feel like it needs a third diamond. So that's what I've done. So I've changed the name. I'm calling it a stacked triple diamond card, or if you do the two version, it's a stacked double diamond card, because they're stacked one on top of the other. So this is my card that I have made. It's actually going to be for a friend of mine. The papers that I've used are from a pad I got from the range a while ago. It is of course a craft sensation pad, and it's just a design pad mix and match is what it's called. I don't know if it's still available, I really don't know, but I just used this one and then also the hexagonal foiled one, which isn't on the front cover, but anyway, yeah, it's this one here, which I thought was really nice. And then the numbers were actually dies, and these are actually from Coco Rosa Studio. Got them in the summer and they're really nice. I really like the size of them. So this is what they look like, and I'm pretty sure they still do them. Obviously they do the whole lot, 1 to 0 to 9, but I like them because they're a little bit fancy and they're a good size. So they actually measure, well, that 4 measures about 1 3/4 in height, which is a nice decent size. So yeah, I've cut it out of glitter card, and this card is actually double-sided. So there's a bit of a waste, but it was the right shade. So it's this one here. It's the Dovecraft A4 double-sided glitter card, and this is the rose gold colour. So I know they do single-sided as well, but it's just a nice colour, and it's non-shed as well, so that's always a good thing. All of the little embellishmenty things are the ones I got from, it was either Amazon or AliExpress, I can't remember. Anyway, it was from there. So yeah, so that's that. So let's get into it. Okay, so for this card, you're going to need, I'm going to show you how to do the normal double one, and then I'm going to just show you how to make it a triple. So for the double one, you're going to need the base pieces. We'll start with those first. For the double, you're going to need a base card that is 6 by 12. Now you want to bring your scoreboard in. Okay, so on your 6 by 12, you're going to score along the 12-inch length at 3 inches, at 4.5 inches, 7.5 inches, and 9. And then what you also want to do is either score or make a mark at 6 inches at the top and also at the bottom. So just at 6 inches, like that. And then if you want to turn it round, now we are going to cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and cut. But obviously if you want to just mark it and then cut it later, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to cut it halfway at 3 inches. And you're going to cut from this first score line to that last score line. Okay, so you should end up with that. Hopefully you can see my score lines. So now what you want to do is you're going to score diagonally. And we're literally going to go from the bottom of the first score line across to the top of the other furthest score, to the last score line, as it were. So you're literally going to go from that top score line all the way down to the bottom score line. Like that. And then you're going to do the same again, but on the top of what we did was the first score line, which is last here, to the bottom of this score line here. So your 2 score lines should cross over at where you've cut. Now mine is gone slightly higher, so obviously I've done something wrong. I'm just a little bit out with something, but that's fine. So now what you want to do is go from your pencil mark where you did your 6 inch down to this bit here where your cut meets the score line. And then you want to do the same here since I've got my ruler. So you're going to go from the mark to there, and also from the mark up to the top of the cut and the mark up to this cut. So since I got my ruler this way, I'm going to go from this bottom mark up to the cut line, and then I'm going to turn my ruler and do the opposite one. So the top mark to the bottom of this cut line here where it meets the score line, and then the same down here. So from the score line down to that mark, like that. Okay, so that should leave you with like one big square and then loads of triangles, just triangles everywhere. All you can see is triangles. Right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to valley fold the two, we're going to valley fold the all of the horizontal, not horizontal, vertical, all the vertical score lines are going to be valley folded. Okay, so you should end up with that. So everything's valley folded in. Then you want to mountain fold all of your diagonal lines. Now again here, these two lines should cross over that line and mine don't. So just when you're doing it, just try and eke them into the right place. I've got a few that aren't quite right. Oh, I see why. I see why, because this one here, where this comes down to, it's just literally about 1/8 above the bottom of there. So next we're going to just go ahead and burnish, fold and burnish all of our lines. Okay, so I've gone ahead and just creased and folded all of my lines. Now what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just gently squash it into place. So if we just poke in these two bits here and these two bits here, I'm going to concentrate on these two first. Just going to turn it around. Just going to very slowly just kind of crease them down. Now obviously I've got a bit of resistance here because of my folds weren't right. So I'm just going to get it to where I think it needs to be, and then give it a really good burnish and tell it where to go. Part of this might be the fact that my card is quite thick. I've got about a 300 GSM card here. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So we're just going to coax these in and bring the whole thing down. And again, I've got a battle on my hands. I've got a bit of card cracking on the edges. But again, I think it's just really because of how thick my card is. I think I could have done with going for maybe a 200 on the base. So I'm having a bit of a battle here. Just smooth them down with my fingers. If you do get like cracking on your card, just give it a bit of a smooth with your fingers, and that can help. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm just going to turn this over and go in and try and get it really to behave itself. Okay, so you can see at the bottom here, it's looking a bit dog-eared. It's just because at the bottom here, as you can see, my line wasn't right. And so that has really knocked it out. But it's fine, it'll still fit in an envelope. Once it's all decorated up, it shouldn't be too bad. It stands up, which is good. On the other side, you've got a little bit here where the card's a little bit cracked. But again, it's just because of my lines. Because they're not, you can see, they're wanting to overlap there. So that's the problem. So the moral of the story is make sure you really are accurate with your diagonal lines, okay? So next we want to go ahead and start decorating. So you're going to need 4 mat pieces that are 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. You're going to need 3 pattern pieces, only 3, not 4. 3 pattern pieces that are 2.5 by 5.5, and 1 white piece that's 2.5 by 5.5. So your pattern pieces are going to go there and there, and also on the other side, and obviously your white one. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. Okay, so you should end up with that on the front and that on the back. So on the front here, we're going to concentrate on these 2 squares here. So you need 2 mat pieces that are 2 inches by 2 inches, and 2 patterns that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. They are going to go on these little squares like that. Okay, so that is basically your stacked double diamond card. So that's how it would look. So obviously you just need to go ahead, decorate it up, however you want to do it. However, you know me, I want to take it a little step further. So I thought we'd make it a stacked triple diamond card. So if you want to do the triple, you need another base piece that is 2.5 by 2.5. You need a matte piece that's 2.25 by 2.25 and a pattern piece that's 2 by 2. And that's literally going to go on there like that. Now just make sure that it's nice and central top and bottom. It's like the points are lining up, and that this way it's central as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten this right down. I want to make it so it's standing up. So I'm just going to flip this over. I'm going to lay it down, and by laying it down you've automatically got your halfway line. So as long as you make your points cross there, then you can make sure your points line up here, and then you're sorted. And then all you need to do then is I'm just going to draw a rough kind of line on here, so I kind of know where to put the glue. And I actually want to make mine stand up slightly, so I'm actually going to put some I'm probably going to do foam tape actually. I was going to use pin flare, but I want it to stick straight away, and because you're kind of holding two structures together, I'm a bit concerned about just doing it with pin flare. So I'm going to use proper foam tape, and I have this stuff here which is quite thick, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Now a little tip, when you're cutting foam tape, use a wet wipe, get your scissors, wipe the blades with your wet wipe, and then go straight and cut your foam tape, and you should end up without any sticky residue on your scissors. So every time you want to cut another bit of tape, just get your wet wipe, as long as it's a decently wet wipe. This one's a bit dry, but it seems to be working. And then go straight away and cut your tape. If you hang around too long, it will dry and then it won't work. So yeah, but just a little tip, because I have spent way too much time trying to peel the stickiness off my scissors, and it's not good, and I've cut myself in the process. So yeah, just thought I'd give you that little heads up. So we're going to turn this round, and then we're just going to make sure it all lines up so it's nice and central. Okay, so there's your triple diamond. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to just decorate everything up. I've got these little die cutty things that I got from AliExpress, I think it was, or eBay, or Amazon. I can't actually, no, it might have been Amazon. I think it might have been Amazon I got them from. I can't remember. Anyway, somewhere or other. So I'm just going to go ahead now and just add some bits and bobs on and just kind of decorate it up. Okay, so there you have your finished card. Obviously you can add more or less or whatever, but I really like the 3 diamonds. I like the 2 diamonds, but for me, everything has to be in 3s. Have to be uneven numbers, so it was just screaming to me to put a 3rd one on. So yeah, so that's the triple one. So obviously, as I said, you could do the double, just don't put this bit on if you want to, or if you put the 3rd one on. It also makes it a bit more stable on the front as well, if you put the 3rd one on. So yeah, I really like that. I think it's really nice. And obviously you've got space on the back to write, which is great. If you've got lots of people, you could get someone's, another white piece here as well. But yeah, so there we go. So I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I've hit more than 13k by the time this goes out, which is absolutely amazing. But it really, really helps me out. It's completely free to you guys, but it really does help me. It supports the channel, and it helps me carry on making videos and stuff. So if you can, hit that subscription button, and also like and hit the notification bell as well. That would all be wonderful. And also leave a comment. So yeah, so that's the one. So I will see you next time. Bye.